Hello everyone and welcome back. As always, I'm your girl, Candy Washington, and we are here to have a quick and fun kiki about the latest updates of Real Housewives of New York City. As we all know, that show was put on a hiatus. It was put on pause after the horrible ratings of its last season, which was season 13, and with everything that went down with the girls not getting along, the racism, the craziness, all of it. But before we dive into what the rumors are for the new reboot and everything else, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss it when we go live. So with that, let's dive in. So first, let's talk about the rumors of who's fired and who's out, and then we'll talk about the rumors of who will be joining the rebooted, completely 100% new cast of The Real Housewives of New York City. So first up, who's out? So word on the street that Ramona Singer has officially been fired. As we all knew the new upcoming cast of Real Housewives of New York City, we all knew that that would be all new people, that they were doing a complete reboot, that they were really looking for diversity, fresh faces, new storylines. So there's no surprise that none of the OGs will be returning for this season, but there is a surprise that Ramona Singer has been allegedly fired and not coming back for Real Housewives of New York Legacy. So Legacy was really sort of like the swan song, the goodbye, the redeeming. Hey Natoski, how are you? Hey Candy Canes, what's up? So Real Housewives of New York Legacy is really supposed to be sort of the long goodbye of the OGs, or if they could prove themselves and maybe they could come back next season as like an OG on that. And allegedly that cast is Luann, Sonia, Jill Zarin, Kelly Bensimon, Tinsley Mortimer, and who else would be on there? I think that was like the core people who like allegedly they're coming back for the Real House of New York Legacy, but Ramona is not coming back and she's been completely fired. As we all know, she was very problematic. Allegedly, she said some very shady, racist things, horrible things behind the scenes, so much so that they weren't even able to do a reunion for the last season. It had gotten so bad. So we all knew that Ramona was sort of on the outs. And she also did not have a good, experience on the Real Housewives Ultimate Girls trip when she was there. Speaking of people not doing a good job on the Real Housewives Ultimate Girls trip, Lena McSweeney. Hey, everyone. Hi, who said Kat? Or who said Kate? She goes, thank God Ramona is gone. I agree. I think it was very obvious that Ramona was a T supporter. People can support who they want, but I don't support that over here. So it was very clear that Ramona was allegedly extremely racist, extremely elitist, calling people to help and all this other stuff, just a lot of nasty behind the scenes stuff that Bravo just simply did not even want to deal with. Hey, Caroline. So Carolyn says Ramona has no self-awareness. She is so nasty. Exactly. And I think it's really rooted in her own low self-esteem, which when a lot of people are nasty like that, it's rooted in their own low self-esteem. I think Ramona feels that what gives her value, and I'm just going to be honest, I think she thinks what gives her value is that she's white, thin, and has money. I think that's where she gets her value from. So then she puts down other people who doesn't reflect that in order to make herself feel better, in order to make herself think that she's better than everybody else. Like, that's what I think is going on with Ramona. So I'm happy she's gone. Now, speaking of people who I'm happy are gone, Lena McSweeney to me was a covert Karen. So allegedly behind the scenes, Lena McSweeney was actually extremely conservative. You know what I'm saying? Like, she would front on the show like she was, she was down for the people. She was fake friends with Ebony because the producer said, well, Ebony needs to come on the show. We'll bring her on with Leah because they're like around the same age. She was like pretending to be like down and cool and whatever, like her like mobster, outfits or whatever. But the truth was behind the scenes, she wasn't as down for the people or the cause as she alleged to be. So basically, she was a big fronter and she was a big liar. I also felt that Leah just wasn't a good fit for the Housewife franchise in general. Like, I felt like she came on hot. She was all over the place. She was super destructive. I know she had her sobriety journey, so I'm not knocking that, but I feel like she did sort of exploit that in a sense. Like, I know people can talk about it, but it seemed like she was exploiting it. And then also, she was just all over the place. She was just like picking fights, being a pot stirrer, no loyalty. She wasn't fun to watch. It seemed like she sat down with someone and created like a blueprint of what she thought she was supposed to be as a housewife in order to like stand out or whatever. It was almost like she was like a bizarro Bethany or bizarro something like that. So I'm happy Leah's gone. Also, allegedly, on the Real Housewives girls trip that they're filming now in Thailand, allegedly she was like throwing elephant poo at like other people and she got kicked out and banned and all of this stuff. Because as we all know, I believe elephants are sacred animals in Thailand. I could be wrong. You can check me on that, but I think so. So again, hyper disrespectful. So happy Leah's gone. Bye-bye. Also heard that Ebony is on the chopping block and she won't be coming back for the legacy, but I understand that because she was only there for one season. So I don't think it's so much that she was problematic. This might be an unpopular opinion, but I actually thought Ebony was very boring. I think Ebony herself is beautiful, intelligent, in real life, I would love to be friends with her because I think she's really intelligent. I think we'd have a lot to talk about. I think that she's really cool, but I don't think that she brought anything interesting to a show like The Real Housewives of New York City. Like, for example, I think if she would have came on the show and just wanted to like have fun and laugh and show her like dating life because she just got out of this like long-term relationship and she's young and successful and she's single and she's doing that. I think if she showed a more playful side of herself, a more relatable side of herself rather than just the business side of herself, like let's have a history lesson and let's do this and let's do that, and everything was so serious, I think it would have been a different story. So Ebony, I think if you do come back on a reality show or back to Real Housewives in a couple of seasons, my advice to you would just to be show up as you and have fun as yourself, not as the person who has to educate us and teach us all about, history lessons. Like, we know the situations, we know the deal. Some people do, some people don't, but I don't want that to be every single episode. I want you personally to shine as the interesting, beautiful, intelligent Black woman that you are, and let that be your story, if that makes sense. So I think that's kind of why Ebony's not coming back. But again, she was only on there for one season. Now, let's talk about who is the newbies. All right. So allegedly, and I might have to read off of this. I'm getting this I'm going to cite my source, TV Deets. So according to TV Deets, the first confirmed Real Housewife from New York City is a woman by the name of Elizabeth Savetsky. I think she goes by Lizzie. So Lizzie Savetsky. And that is the beautiful, and I believe she's Jewish. She's Jewish, but I'm not sure what her heritage is. But she's the #1 confirmed housewife. So word on the street is that she was actually supposed to be on Real Housewives of Dallas. Like, she was testing for that because I think she's originally from Texas. But I'm thinking the, Dallas coming off of pause has not been confirmed yet. So somehow, some way, now she lives in New York. So like, you see, like, Bravo's already with the shits. Like, this is what I'm saying. Like, how is she filming for Real Housewives or screening for Real Housewives of Dallas, but now she's a Real Housewives of New York City? Where was she? Was she living in Dallas? Was she living in New York? Where was she living? Did she move to New York to be on the show? Where are her children located? Where is her husband located? You see what I'm saying? Like, you have to kind of like really think about what's going on. Like, if you're looking for for authenticity, which is what they're saying now. Oh, we want to really make sure we're hiring housewives that are real, blah, 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 diverse cast, da, 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 da. How is she about to be on Dallas, but now she's on New York? Where was she living? I'm confused. Anyway, she's a beautiful woman. She's she's a fashion blogger slash fashion influencer. And I guess where she gets the bulk of her money, no tea, no shade, because I know they make a lot of money, but she's married to a plastic surgeon. And I believe she has some children, and I believe she's Jewish, and she posts a lot about her faith and her religion, which I think is great. So I'm excited to see that, for her to come on. But again, Bravo, you need to explain to me, and you need to explain to us how she was supposed to be on Dallas, but now she's on New York. How did that happen? Where they do that at? You know what I mean? Like, Bravo, you're still with the shits. You're over there on Beverly Hills hiring alleged children sex traffickers. You got Erica Jane, who literally is being named one of the largest beneficiaries of California fraud ever. Like, she's allegedly made $100 million from her fraudulent husband. Now you want to talk about you're going to be transparent and authentic with your casting for the Real Housewives of New York City. But the main chick was supposed to be on Dallas. So you're already starting out with something that doesn't make sense. I mean, am I the only person that kind of was like, I'm confused? Like, how is she on Dallas, but now she's on New York? I don't know. Maybe that's just me, you guys. Maybe that's just me. Okay, so the other girls who are supposed to be on it, well, women rather, the other women, is another woman named Sai de Silva, or Say, maybe it's Say, S-A-I, maybe it's Say. She's a fashion influencer living in New York City, allegedly, because now I don't believe anything. Like, you're telling me this chick was supposed to be in Dallas and now she's in New York? Bravo, stop playing in our faces. All right. Anyway, so she's Afro-Latina and the mother of 2 children, London Scout and Rio Dash. So she'll be really cute. Then the other one who's alleged, because the only one who's confirmed is the first one, the Elizabeth Savetsky one, the Dallas to New York one. The other 3 are in negotiations or alleged. There's another woman named Orfeh, O-R-F-E-H. She's an actress and singer, and she's married to Andy Karl. And I guess they go around, posting on their social media, and they travel the country together, and they're doing different shows. Then we have another woman named Uba Hassan, and she is a model who created her own hot sauce, Uba Hot, in her spare time. And she was recently profiled in Forbes, and seems to be quite the NYC mover and shaker. Dun, 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 dun. So let's put it this way. I mean, I'm not trying to be shady, but it looks more like and don't get me wrong, I'm a minority, so I can talk about this, but doesn't it sort of look like the cast of Real Housewives of Dubai? Instead of the Real Housewives of New York City? Like, nobody come after me, but doesn't the new cast kind of look like the Real Housewives of Dubai cast? Like, that's Carolyn Stansberry. We have Sarah. We have Nina. That's like Elisa. That's Chanel Ayan. Right? Like, couldn't this literally be a double for the Real Housewives of Dubai? Like, I don't know what's going on. Okay, let's see what you guys are saying in the chat. Who said Kat? Yay! Or is it Kate? Let me know if I'm pronouncing it correctly or not. Who said Kate? Yay! He says, hey, Miss Candy and everybody. Hey, sweetheart. How are you? Hi, Natoski. What about Sonia? Okay, so Sonia is supposed to be coming back for the Real Housewives of New York Legacy. And then also, I haven't seen it, but allegedly Sonia and Luann are taping their own spinoff, almost like Lucy and Ethel, or like a Simple Life. So it's basically, Sonia and Luann, going around and being like fish out of water and all these different situations, and just having a good old white lady hoot, and I would be here for it. I love Sonia. I think she's amazing. I think she's great. And I also like Luann too. I really do. Who said Kate? Said Ramona is a racist and elitist. I mean, in my opinion, yes, I think so too. Leah Barth. I know I can't stand Leah. I can't, because the thing is, Leah to me is so inauthentic, and she's a fronter. She's like a covert Karen. You know what I mean? Like behind the scenes, You're really not who you are. You're talking crap about people. You're doing the absolute most when the camera is on. Like, miss me, sweetheart, miss me. Jessica Leah needs to go. She does. I didn't like her. And I'm not saying that I am the biggest Heather supporter, like holla, but I felt like Leah did Heather dirty when she came back to the show. Hey, Vintage Optimism. Hello, Candy and all the candy canes. Hey, sweetheart, how are you? Who said Kate said, oh yeah, Ramona loves 45. Exactly. Sorry, we don't do that here. I mean, everyone is welcome, but we don't support 45 over here. Sorry. Hey, Vintage Optimism. Leah came off as thirsty, like a vampire. She was extremely thirsty. She was completely parched. She had no personality. Her whole situation was just a mess. Caroline Murray says, ew, I know. Caroline says, I agree with that assessment at Candy Washington. Aw, thank you, sweetheart. Hey, Candace Reynolds, she goes, it's hard to have fun and let your guard down when you're working with folks who act like racists. Just saying, Ebony would do better with a diverse cast, in my opinion. Yeah, I think she would have done better with a diverse cast, but a couple of things with that. I do think it's hard to have fun and let your guard down when you're working with folks who act like racists, 100%. But I also think that she herself would have come across better if she was almost like Garcelle. You know what I mean? Like Garcelle faces racism and microaggressions on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, but she shows up as herself. She's strong. She's interesting. You know, she has a point of view. She gives it to him back, and she's not giving us a history lesson every episode. You know what I mean? I think Ebony would have fared better if she would have just came on the show and just would have been herself rather than been like a school teacher, if that makes sense. And then when she needed to put a chick in her place and check a chick, then you put a chick in her place and you check her like a Lamona, like a Luann, like a whatever, 100%. But I think that for what the Real Housewives franchise is, I think if she would have done more of like what Garcelle has done, you know, Garcelle is not a part of a diverse cast at all, but she is winning and she is number one over there because she showed up fully as herself, if that makes sense. But I agree with you. That is hard. It is hard sometimes to be yourself when you're surrounded by people who are like that. So I agree. Hey, who said cat? Or who said Kate? I keep saying who said cat. Sorry. I'm so glad that I got rid of the dead wood. Me too. Tinsley Mortimer was from Texas and they put her in New York. Yep. See, they be doing. See, this is the thing. I don't know if it's truly original, if it's evolution, if it's Bravo, but how are you not finding interesting people in the actual cities that they're supposed to be in? I think they did the same thing with Maya and Potomac. Like, I don't think Maya lives in Potomac. Hey, Vintage Optimism. My biological parents are from Chile, and when I was adopted, I had to go to Hebrew school, raised Jewish. Leah offended me with her forced storyline. Yeah. I forgot she did that with her whole fake converting to Judaism stuff. So disrespectful. Leah, bye. Please don't come back on our screens. We don't want you. You're fired. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Oh, okay, you guys. That was so much fun, and that was it. That was the latest and greatest rumors and updates for the upcoming reboot of The Real Housewives of New York, and then also with the upcoming Real Housewives of New York Legacy. So don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss it when we go live with all our fun reality TV and pop culture tea. Because remember, a kiki is always better with community. Hey, the queen says, what's up? You got to catch the replay, queen. You got to catch the replay. How are you, sweetheart? What's up? Yes, guys, so we are going to go ahead and get out of here. But later today, we'll be doing a recap of Married to Medicine and also the Bell Collective. And we'll be coming back with more hot topics. And if you're catching the replay, put it in the comments below. Who do you want to see back on Real Housewives of New York? Who are you happy to see let go? And are you really believing in the authenticity of this new cast when it turns out the anchor of the show already maybe doesn't even live in New York? Ooh. So we'll see you guys next time. As always, take care of yourself and each other. I love you. Bye.
Welcome to Sugar Pills, a practical guide to self-care, where your host, writer, actor and producer Candy Washington helps you live a more joyful life with a cheeky dash of pop culture news. Be sure to subscribe, leave a 5-star review and join the conversation on Instagram @Candy Washington. Let's go!